The MMA fortune teller.
The teller, the teller, the teller, the teller, the teller, the teller.
What's up, guys? The teller popping in. Want to give you guys some quick updates in regards to the card taking place this Saturday. Also, I definitely want to touch upon Dana White's Contender Series. The show delivered once again last night. Hopefully you guys caught it because, like I said, again, more and more entertaining fights. I know I sound like a yak back over here. For all you 80s and 90s babies, you guys know what I'm talking about, the old school yak back. But I'm constantly repeating myself because the card just keeps delivering. It continues to deliver every single Tuesday. We're going to touch upon the entire card here in a minute. Some very entertaining fights. Other than that, in regards to the card taking place this weekend, Caceres Bruce Leroy now has a new opponent, Kevin Croom, who will be replacing Giga. And I'm a little disappointed about that. I felt pretty comfortable in Giga taking that fight this weekend. So that was a play of mine. Giga I thought was going to be a little bit too much for Caceres on the feet, and I don't think Caceres was going to be able to get the fight down to the mat. So I know the line was somewhat high, but in my opinion, there was some money to be made there. Money was on the table, and you know how the teller does it, man. I'll pick it up. So other than that's scheduled. We got OSP and Alonzo Menafield over in St. Preux, and Alonzo Menafield now rescheduled, not for this upcoming Saturday, but the following Saturday. So that's a good thing to see. And I'll be breaking down the Bruce Leroy versus Kevin Croom fight here in a minute. But first, I want to start with Dana White's Contender Series. And just an amazing event once again. In the first fight, we had Colin Huckbody, who took on Kyron Bowen. We talked about this guy Colin, man. He had so many arm triangles on his resume. I was trying to dissect, is this guy just pulling them off on these dudes that are just lower level talent that don't know how to defend a pretty elementary submission, or are these guys just gassing out, or what's going on? I think we got our answer. This guy is a specialist. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw my story, my post. As soon as I saw that sub, I'm like, this guy is a true specialist. And by the way, if you guys are following me on Instagram, make sure it's MMA fortune teller _, because again, there were some imposters out there, and I since had that imposter account. I got Instagram to remove his name and whatnot, but you may not be following me because I know there was a guy out there trying to pretend to be me, but Instagram is fortunately they're good with that stuff. So, but if you're following me, back to the Huckbody fight, we saw that Huckbody is a true specialist. I really like what this kid brings to the table, man, with his grappling now. I do think he may be in some trouble down the line, but nevertheless, I want to see if he's able to pull that off down the line, more and more in the UFC. We'll see. In the next fight, Anthony Romero took on Mike Breeden, and I was super pumped for this fight. Everyone that works with me, you guys know this was my one major play for the card, 4-unit play on Anthony Romero, the Canadian fighter who is now 8-0, still remains undefeated. I'm high on this kid. This kid's been training MMA since he was a young buck. He's still really young, only 23, but this is a kid that's, he's a black belt in multiple disciplines. He could hold his own on the feet. He could strike with you. His grappling's underrated. His takedown defense, all that, man. He's very physically fit for the weight division. I believe he's even fought in the welterweight division before. I'm high on this kid. Very, very cool dude, and he delivered last night. So we already got the week rolling the right way. Ready to cash in our first bet, and now we have some more bets to cash in on this weekend. Into the rest of the card, we got Jeff Molina, who took on Jacob Silva. Very entertaining fight. Went to a decision. Molina and Silva were throwing down. Silva was very tough. Dana White's already confirmed that even if he didn't get a contract, if there's ever a short notice type situation, they're going to be reaching out to Silva. Silva was down, going into the third round. He actually won that third round. Looked very good in that fight. Got hit with some nasty shots, and he's a tough kid. In the co-main event, man, I told you guys about this guy, Rafael Alves, who took on Alejandro Flores. This guy, Alves, I saw him fight live in his last fight. The dude's the real deal. Submission skills. He has power in his hands. He's well-rounded. The dude has a lot of charisma. He's a beast. And I had a little bit of money on him too, but nothing official, nothing that was officially locked in, put out there to everybody. But yeah, a little bit of fun, put some money on him too, had to capitalize on him there. And then in the main event, Jamie Pickett, I told you guys I thought he was going to be a little bit more too athletic, a little bit quicker than Jonathan Patti. But Jonathan Patti also showed that guy, he carries some serious power too. I'm actually a fan of Patti after seeing what he brings to the table. I like him in there, man. Even though he's calm, he sits back, he waits for his specific times where he he really explodes. I think he's going to be knocking some dudes out. I would like to see him shed some weight, man, shed some of that fat and drop down to the welterweight division. I would love to see a shredded version of Jonathan Patti, but you know how the Samoans do, man. They like to come in heavy, so dude's extremely tough. He had about 23 unanswered shots. I would have liked to have seen him take a couple more before the referee stopped the fight. As soon as the fight was stopped, you saw he was completely coherent. He knew what was going on, and those guys are tough. And we saw what happened last weekend, man. Some of these guys were getting brutalized. The referees didn't stop those fights. They came back and won the fights. So I don't know. You never know, man. But I'm not gonna say it was a bad stoppage or anything. But Pickett, he really laid it on him. And shout out to Pickett. That was his third time fighting on Dana White's Contender Series, and now he secured the bag, man. He got the contract, won his third fight, and I'm excited to see what he brings to the table inside the octagon, man. Shout out to Jamie Pickett, a dude that's been grinding, and now he has an opportunity to really deliver on the big stage, man, in the UFC. So another successful event, I believe. So we had Pickett, who's got a contract. Keep an eye on him. Rafael Alves got a contract. Jeff Molina got a contract. Anthony Romero did not get a contract. I guess he's a young dude, and Dana White was hating a little bit, I think. I don't know. And then we had Colin Hookbody, who also got a contract. So I thought we could have seen 5 contracts, but I guess they can't just continuously give out these contracts to every single fighter. But Anthony Romero won that fight 30-26 on some of the scorecards, was really putting it on Mike Breeden, but Breeden's a tough customer. And that wraps up week 4. And now before we get into the Alex Caceres versus Kevin Croom fight breakdown, I want to touch upon my boy Joe Gianetti, who's fighting this Friday night over at LFA. Make sure you guys check that out as well. He's taking on this guy Bryant Moore. Goes by the nickname of Killer B, and this dude's actually a legit fighter. He's 7-1, and Bryant's actually a very well-rounded, dangerous fighter who's been finishing a lot of fights over at LFA. So this is a big fight for Joe Gianetti. Joe Gianetti is on route to try to get back to the UFC. For those of you guys that are familiar, man, MMA Live Discussion, maybe it was number 4. Or you look it up, man. It's in my videos here. We had Joe Gianetti on, and Joe Gianetti is one of the coolest dudes out there. I'm pulling big for him. If you guys aren't familiar with Joe Gianetti, man, he was from the Ultimate Fighter, the undefeated Ultimate Fighter show, and he was a semifinalist. He lost in the fight against Mike Trezano, a guy that we also had on the show. And shout out to Joe Gianetti, man. I'm going to be watching and rooting him on, and hopefully he wins that fight. I think it's his fight to win. Joe Gianetti has the experience. He's been in there in the big show, and he ain't scared of nobody. He's ready to handle business. So shout out to Joe Gianetti. All right, and now we talk about this newly scheduled bout. Bruce Leroy Caceres taking on Kevin Croom. If you're not familiar with Kevin Croom is a guy we've seen fight over in Bellator. He's been around the block for a long time. He has 33 professional fights. This is a guy that brings it. He definitely brings it, and I think that's why the UFC is giving him an opportunity here. Win, lose, or draw, this guy is walking forward. He's ready to throw down. And, I've seen him put himself in some vulnerable situations, sticking his head in there, getting, completely put unconscious with standing guillotines. And I've seen some other fights where, he looked good. He pulled off some W's. Against, what kind of competition. We saw him take out Charles Bennett. Remember Charles Felony Bennett? He took him out recently. Croom is on a 3-fight winning streak, but all against very low-level talent. But again, the UFC is giving him an opportunity here because he brings the fight, and it will be an entertaining fight. And that's what I expect in this fight. I expect Croom to walk across the cage, and he has some power in his hands. He brings it. He'll start throwing. He'll throw down with Caceres. If he can make this a dog fight, maybe he could put it on Bruce Leroy. But I expect Bruce Leroy to win this fight. I think Bruce Leroy is, this is a guy that's been fighting in the UFC almost his entire career. He's going to be very calm in there. This isn't his big opportunity like it is for Kevin. Bruce Leroy has underrated jiu-jitsu. So, I could easily see Caceres pulling off a submission here as well. And I think Caceres is coming in. Take a look at the line real quick. Caceres is right around, we have it listed below too. He's about a 2-1 favorite, right around -200, -195 so far from what we've seen. And Croom is around +170. So maybe we keep an eye on that line. Caceres is a solid fighter, but, got to be careful with Caceres at specific times. And especially if this guy Croom could really put it on him and avoid the submission, might play out closely. Those are things to all take into consideration. And what else? MMA Live Discussion will be going down Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern. That's tomorrow. So wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this. I have seen some of your guys' comments under my prediction videos that you guys would like to see me do more of an updated prediction video to put out to you guys, after the weigh-ins. This way it'll be a little bit more up to date. We recently, especially, we've been getting a lot of newly scheduled bouts, a lot of canceled bouts throughout the week. And if that's something that you guys want me to do, I can do that Friday evening, Friday night. I'll get that video out to you guys. At least I'll do my best to get that video out to you guys. If that's something that you guys are interested in, comment below, let me know. And yeah, other than that, I think we pretty much caught up with everything. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Also, hit that notification bell. I never really talk about that too much, but somebody was just telling me how they had the notification bell clicked into my page, and that helps out a lot because as soon as I post these videos, you guys immediately get a notification on your YouTube, and it lets you guys know. This way, you're up to date with whatever's going on in regards to the card and making some money on it, right? So if you guys do that, man, it helps me out as well. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and I will catch up with you guys tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern, MMA live discussion. We'll talk some more fights, and then the Fight Companion is going down this Saturday. So get your drinks, get your smoke, whatever you do. If you don't do neither of that, just get ready to sit on your butt and watch some fights, man. We'll enjoy them together, all right? So on that note, signing out, The Teller.
The MMA fortune teller.
The teller. The teller. The teller. The teller. The teller.